Why Princess Diana was really a threat to the crown. The dangerous plan you've never heard. Princess Diana wasn't just a princess. She was a real threat to the British monarchy. On the surface, she was seen as the people's princess, adored for her charity work and her beauty. But behind the scenes, Princess Diana was quietly positioning herself to challenge the very foundations of the royal family and the monarchy. Her influence was growing, and the palace knew it. Princess Diana didn't just want to be a part of royal life. She wanted to change it, and she was ready to expose its darkest secrets. She made powerful allies, built a network of support, and began to challenge the monarchy's strict rules. In this video, we're going to reveal the dangerous plan Princess Diana had in place, the move she made that scared the royal family, and why they saw her as a direct threat to their survival. What's coming next will completely leave you speechless. Number 1. Her growing popularity. One of the biggest reasons Princess Diana was seen as a threat to the crown was her skyrocketing popularity. In the early years of her marriage to King Charles, she was viewed as the perfect royal wife, beautiful, graceful, and charitable. But as time went on, Princess Diana's appeal didn't just remain with the British public. It grew worldwide, and she became the most recognized woman in the world. Her popularity began to overshadow other members of the royal family, including Queen Elizabeth. At the height of her fame, Princess Diana's face was everywhere, from magazines to TV screens, while the Queen's presence felt more distant and reserved by comparison. This shift created a real concern within the palace. What if Princess Diana's influence and connection with the people grew so strong that she eclipsed the monarchy itself? The royal family had always relied on its ability to maintain control of public opinion, and Princess Diana's popularity disrupted that. Her charm, relatability, and modern approach made her a symbol of change, while the monarchy appeared increasingly stuck in its old ways. This dynamic created tension. Princess Diana had the power to challenge the monarchy's role, just by being who she was. If her influence continued to grow, it could have seriously weakened the authority of the crown, and the palace was fully aware of this threat. Number 2. Her independent voice. Princess Diana's strength wasn't just in her popularity. It was in her ability to think and speak independently, something that was deeply unsettling to the royal family. Unlike most royals who were expected to remain neutral and follow the rules, Princess Diana used her voice to address the world's most pressing issues. She spoke out on topics that the royal family traditionally avoided, issues like mental health, HIV/AIDS, and homelessness. Princess Diana's ability to engage with these subjects humanized her in a way that no other royal had done before, which put her in direct contrast to the royal family's more conservative image. But it wasn't just about charity work. Princess Diana's outspoken nature went beyond good causes. She wasn't afraid to criticize the royal family when she felt it was necessary. In interviews, she admitted to feeling unsupported by the monarchy during her marriage to King Charles, which painted the royals in a negative light. This sort of candor was unheard of within the family, which prized discretion and reserve. By speaking her truth, Princess Diana undermined the very institution she was a part of, and that was something Buckingham Palace could not control. Number 3. Her influence on the media. Princess Diana had an extraordinary relationship with the media, one that was at times more powerful than the monarchy's official communication channels. While the royal family had always been careful about what it shared with the press, Princess Diana understood the media's power to use it to her advantage. She didn't just accept what the tabloids wrote about her. She worked with them, sometimes even feeding them stories that would boost her image and, more importantly, challenge the royal family's image. In the 1990s, Princess Diana became a media sensation. The tabloids were obsessed with her every move, and she used this to her benefit. She made sure the public saw the human side of her life, her struggles with bulimia, her tumultuous marriage to King Charles, and the loneliness she felt. These personal stories earned her sympathy and built her relationship with the public. The royal family, by contrast, couldn't control the narrative in the same way. The palace had always kept a tight grip on its public image, but Princess Diana made it clear that she was the one who could shape her story. The press also helped her expose the more uncomfortable sides of royal life. By sharing her pain, Princess Diana indirectly opened up the monarchy's darkest secrets, especially her experiences with King Charles and Camilla. This damaged the royal family's carefully curated facade and presented Princess Diana as the victim of an outdated institution. Number 4. Her divorce from King Charles. By the time Princess Diana and King Charles divorced in 1996, Princess Diana had already made a significant mark as a threat to the monarchy. Their separation was one of the most public and painful events in royal history. The media frenzy surrounding their divorce, with Princess Diana's interviews, King Charles' own public admission of adultery, and the constant tabloid coverage, led to a major crisis for the royal family. The monarchy's reputation was on the line as the public saw their marriage unravel in front of the world. The royal family traditionally prided itself on stability, but Princess Diana's divorce, along with her growing independence, undermined that image. While the Queen and other royals were seen as cold and distant figures, Princess Diana was seen as vulnerable, human, and relatable. She became a symbol of the changing times, one that many felt was more in tune with the public's needs. The palace saw this as a real problem. Princess Diana, even in her separation from King Charles, continued to hold immense sway over public opinion. As a result, the monarchy looked less relevant, less trustworthy, and less secure. Number 5. Her alleged affairs. Another reason Princess Diana was considered a threat was her personal life. She was never shy about her affairs. Her relationship with James Hewitt, for example, was well documented, and the tabloids had a field day with it. Princess Diana's infidelities were seen as an open rebellion against the institution of marriage, a key part of the monarchy's image. But more than that, her affairs became a form of leverage. Through them, Princess Diana regained some control over her narrative. The palace, which had always been a symbol of purity and tradition, struggled to deal with the fallout. The affair with Hewitt became one of the most public scandals of the 1990s, and it further highlighted the dysfunction within the royal family. The palace feared that Princess Diana's actions were setting a dangerous precedent for future royals, especially her sons, who would one day be expected to follow strict royal codes. The media obsession with Princess Diana's private life took attention away from the royal family's more traditional image, and this posed a direct threat to the monarchy's stability. Number 6. Her power to connect with the public. Princess Diana's greatest strength was her ability to connect with ordinary people. While the royal family was often seen as distant and out of touch, Princess Diana was relatable. She went to hospitals, touched the hands of AIDS patients, and spoke to people as equals, not as royalty. This made her an icon of compassion and vulnerability, and she became the embodiment of a modern, more humanized monarchy. She understood what the public wanted, and they responded to her in ways they never had with other members of the royal family. This connection was a problem for the monarchy. Princess Diana wasn't just popular. She had an almost cult-like following. Her ability to make personal connections with the public made her a powerful symbol of change, something the monarchy feared. Princess Diana wasn't just part of the royal family. She was at times its most visible and influential member. This put the monarchy in an uncomfortable position, as they couldn't control how the public viewed her or what she represented. Number 7. Her support for AIDS and landmines. Princess Diana's advocacy for AIDS patients and her high-profile campaign to ban landmines were both groundbreaking. Her willingness to visit AIDS patients in the 1980s, at a time when the disease was stigmatized, made headlines around the world. And her public support for landmine victims in the mid-1990s put her at the center of an international cause. Princess Diana's involvement in these causes was far more than just charity work. It was political. She challenged the royal family's tradition of political neutrality, using her status to push for global change. The monarchy, traditionally a non-political institution, could not risk being associated with such controversial issues. Princess Diana's vocal support for causes like landmine removal made the palace nervous, as it threatened to bring politics into royal life in a way they'd never allowed before. Her actions were a clear reminder that Princess Diana had the power to influence public opinion and shift the conversation on major global issues, something the royal family could not easily control. Number 8. Her appeal to the younger generation. Princess Diana's influence wasn't just limited to the general public. It extended particularly to younger generations, many of whom saw her as a modern, relatable figure. In an era when the royal family was often seen as stuffy and disconnected from the realities of everyday life, Princess Diana represented something new. A member of the royal family who was empathetic, approachable, and in tune with the struggles and concerns of younger people. This was a demographic that had the potential to reshape the monarchy's future. Princess Diana wasn't just admired. She was adored by millions of young people who saw her as a role model. She had a way of making people feel like they mattered. From the children she met in hospitals, to the young women who admired her for her elegance and ability to balance royal duties with motherhood. This powerful connection was something the monarchy had never experienced before, and it left the royal family concerned about the future. What would happen if the younger generations, who admired Princess Diana more than any other royal, began to question the relevance of the monarchy altogether? Princess Diana's appeal to the youth had the potential to spark a Republican sentiment that could threaten the very institution the royal family depended on. Number 9. Her relationship with Dodi Fayed. Princess Diana's relationship with Dodi Fayed, which became public shortly before her tragic death in 1997, raised eyebrows, not just because of their romance, but because of the implications it had for the royal family. Fayed was a Muslim, and their relationship, although not formally recognized by the royal family, raised questions about the monarchy's future and the social norms surrounding royal marriages. There was deep concern that the media attention surrounding the relationship would draw even more public scrutiny to the monarchy's own traditions and practices. In addition to the cultural implications, the fact that Princess Diana had begun to move in more diverse social circles also made the royal family uneasy. The monarchy had always adhered to strict conventions about marriage and association, and Princess Diana's apparent disregard for these norms was seen as a challenge to the very idea of royal propriety. Her relationship with Fayed symbolized a break from royal tradition and further distanced her from the expectations placed on other members of the royal family. This was a dangerous shift, one that could have had a ripple effect, potentially changing the public's perception of the monarchy's role in British society. Number 10. Her challenge to traditional royal protocol. Princess Diana's relationship with royal protocol was complicated. While she followed many of the formalities required of her, she often pushed back against certain traditions, opting for a more personal and modern approach to her royal duties. Princess Diana wasn't content to simply be seen at ceremonial events or in scripted public appearances. She wanted to connect with people in a real, authentic way, even if it meant breaking from tradition. Whether it was her decision to hug AIDS patients or speak out about her personal struggles, Princess Diana often defied royal conventions that emphasized distance and formality. This behavior was viewed by many in the royal household as a challenge to the monarchy's carefully curated image. For centuries, the royal family had upheld strict codes of conduct, from what they wore to how they interacted with the public. Princess Diana, however, was a royal who dared to be different, less perfect, more human. And it was this quality that made her both adored by the public and feared by those who value tradition. As Princess Diana became more comfortable stepping outside the boundaries set by the monarchy, the palace became increasingly concerned about the long-term consequences of her example. Could the next generation of royals follow her lead? And if so, what would become of the royal family's carefully crafted image? Number 11. Her outsider status. Despite being married into the royal family, Princess Diana was always somewhat of an outsider. She came from a more ordinary background, and this never sat well with certain members of the royal family. Her family's history, especially the fact that her father was the Earl Spencer, but her mother was from a less prestigious background, made her different from other royals. While Princess Diana was accepted into the royal fold, there was a constant sense that she didn't truly belong. For Princess Diana, this outsider status was both a burden and a tool. It made her more relatable to the public, who saw her as someone who, like them, had come from humble beginnings. But it also made her a threat to the monarchy, which had always relied on the perception of its aristocratic lineage and impeccable bloodlines. Princess Diana's background and her more modern outlook were seen as a challenge to the monarchy's centuries-old traditions. Her common roots and her willingness to challenge royal protocol were a constant reminder to the palace that she was not a typical royal. She was someone who could shake up the status quo if she chose to. Number 12. Her public admission of mental health struggles. One of the most radical things Princess Diana did during her time in the royal family was speak openly about her struggles with mental health. In a 1995 interview with the BBC, she candidly spoke about her battle with bulimia, depression, and the emotional toll her marriage to King Charles had taken on her. In an era where mental health was still heavily stigmatized, especially within the royal family, Princess Diana's decision to speak out was nothing short of revolutionary. By sharing her personal struggles, Princess Diana not only humanized herself in the eyes of the public, but she also broke a major royal taboo. Royals were supposed to be stoic, immune to personal vulnerabilities, and Princess Diana's openness about her pain made her a powerful figure in the mental health movement. But this also put her at odds with the monarchy. The royal family had always maintained an air of perfection. So Princess Diana's decision to reveal her inner turmoil was a stark contrast to their public image. The palace was terrified that this kind of vulnerability, if adopted by future generations of royals, could weaken the monarchy's authority and its revered status. Number 13. Her children's future role in the monarchy. Princess Diana's children, Prince William and Prince Harry, were the future of the British monarchy. As a mother, Princess Diana had the power to shape how they would view the institution they were born into, and this was a potential threat. Princess Diana was not only shaping the royal children's understanding of public life, but also of the monarchy's role in society. In many ways, she gave them a more modern and less reverent view of their royal duties. For example, Princess Diana encouraged her sons to be more involved in the world around them. From charity work to meeting people from all walks of life, she didn't want them to be distant, untouchable figures. While this approach made Princess Diana a beloved figure, it also created uncertainty about how her sons would approach the monarchy. Would they be willing to carry on the royal traditions, or would they seek to modernize the institution in a way that could weaken its power and influence? Number 14. Her potential to inspire a Republican movement. Princess Diana's rising popularity, combined with her public criticism of the monarchy, had the potential to fuel a Republican movement in the UK. As Princess Diana became more independent from the royal family, and as her relationship with the public grew stronger, there was a growing sense that she was a symbol of change. Her questioning of royal traditions, coupled with her ability to rally the public behind her, made some people in the UK begin to question whether the monarchy was still relevant. If Princess Diana had continued down the path of challenging the monarchy, it's possible that she could have inspired a broader movement for the abolition of the monarchy altogether. The monarchy had always been a symbol of stability, but Princess Diana's growing influence made people wonder if the British royal family was living in the past. While Princess Diana never openly campaigned for the abolition of the monarchy, her actions and her popularity could have made the idea more acceptable to the public, threatening the very institution that had once been her home. Number 15. Her alleged public criticism of the royal family. Princess Diana's more public criticisms of the royal family, especially her infamous 1995 BBC interview, further cemented her status as a threat to the crown. In that interview, Princess Diana opened up about her struggles with the royal family, describing her marriage to King Charles as one filled with betrayal and isolation. She made it clear that she felt unsupported by the monarchy and that her treatment by certain members of the royal family had been less than kind. This kind of public airing of royal grievances was unprecedented and deeply unsettling for the family, which prided itself on its privacy and discretion. By speaking out in such a candid and personal way, Princess Diana challenged the very idea of royal secrecy and the expectations that the public would simply accept whatever narrative the palace put forward. Princess Diana's openness not only made her a more relatable figure, but also stripped away the carefully constructed image of the royal family as an unshakable institution. This was a serious blow to the monarchy's reputation, and it demonstrated just how much power Princess Diana had to shape the narrative around the royal family. Her rise to popularity, the way she connected with the public, and her willingness to challenge the royal family's traditions could have completely shifted the balance of power. Princess Diana wasn't just a princess. She was a game changer. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Princess Diana's growing influence could have truly reshaped the monarchy? Or do you think the royal family would have weathered her challenges without much trouble? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more in-depth videos like this one. And if you haven't already, click the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.